Don't you let what happens dictate who God is. Don't you get caught way in your life and saying, well, I thought you loved me. Well, if God loved me, then how come? Well, why? God, don't you love me? We live that way. We do that in our relationships. We do that in our friendships. We do that in our marriages. And we weigh love through things and people and places. And God said, in this one thing, love is realized, that I gave him. Back to this thought, what would compel him to come inside of a woman? What would compel him to be a child and have to be nursed and to grow up in the world and to go? Because it's amazing. Because of the value you and I possess when we're in him. Our created value is to be in him and him to be in us. Your prime real estate. You're a house built for a king. He doesn't want to live in a temple made with hands. He made you to dwell in you, to be one with you. And when that got lost, it's worth any price to redeem and restore. You have to understand the gospel reveals your value and the unfailing love of God towards your life, no matter what, where you've been, what you've done, how you've acted, how you've thought, because God sees past all that and knows who you are in the first place. We've turned into rules and legalism, and some people are mad at preaching in the gospel in church. It's more so husbands and men, and I don't know why, but they go to church on Sunday with aught in their heart, and they go for their wives, and they go and they're like, whatever. Women, we think they're gullible, and no, women surrounded Jesus. Women were at the tomb. Women, you're amazing. Sometimes it's us guys, we're like, whatever, and we let our hearts get hard. I'm not saying it's all guys, but guys, don't do that. Don't be that. Don't miss who you're created to be. You're created to be like Christ. You're created to honor your wife like God, and Christ loves the church. You're not created to be served by them and lord over them. You're created to serve them and love them. God made woman out of the fullness of God in man. Until he saw the fullness of God in man, there wasn't even a woman on the scene. But when God saw himself in man, he said, whoa, let's get woman here. Why? Because there's nowhere for love to go. There's nowhere for love to multiply and reproduce itself and manifest. So he didn't make another lump of clay. He reached inside of man what was already filled with God and brought forth a woman. Out of one he made two, so two could be one. Oh, how did I get here? What am I doing? It is good, I can tell. Oh, Jesus. I'm in trouble, Chuck. I'm just going to preach. We'll land where we land. We'll trust it's God. Attitudes rob the quality of life and the purpose of life. The attitudes are a dime a dozen. Opinions, mindsets, human reasoning. Come on, let's stop valuing our own opinions and feelings. And let's begin to humble ourselves and submit ourselves to the truth of God's word and the message he sent through sending his son. Some people get mad at the Bible, mad at the word. Well, how do I know that's the Bible? How do I know that's the word of God? Well, men just wrote the book. And we cop out so we can keep our mind